So in the modern world, starting with the web development can be overwhelming, considering all the technologies which are out there. But this front-end developer roadmap will guide you to start with it in the proper way. We will cover most of the important building blocks of the web, and this will help you to become a modern front-end developer. So we'll start with the foundation of websites using HTML and CSS, their interactivity using JavaScript, some CSS frameworks and preprocessors, and also React.js. Finally, we'll look into more ways to keep growing and learning because our journey is always ongoing. Yeah, next slide, please. Yeah, so first is the HTML and CSS. Like most of us all know like what is HTML and CSS. HTML is like hypertext markup language. So we can think of it as the structure of a house. It gives web pages their basic layout and content. It's like the blueprint for what you see on the screen. Whereas CSS is something that you can, decorate according to your needs and make it beautiful. So using CSS, we can add colors, fonts, and layout to make websites look amazing. So the HTML structure and CSS helps it to make it look fantastic. They work together to create website that just feel right. So let me share some facts that you might don't know. So the first one is the first version of HTML was released in 1991 by Tim Berners-Lee. The first version of CSS was released in 1996 by Hakon Guillaume Lee. And the most recent version of HTML is HTML5, which was released in 2014. And the most recent version of CSS is CSS3, which is still under development. So the next part is the JavaScript. Yeah, so like what is JavaScript? So JavaScript is something which adds interactivity and dynamic behavior to our web pages. With JS, what we can do is we can create animation, work on form validation, and interactive buttons. You can also make website more engaging and user friendly. So now imagine this like you move your mouse and something on the page reacts, or you click a button and things change right before your eyes. So that's JavaScript in action. It's like changing the story of a web page as you read it. So another example could be like think of JavaScript as a director of a movie. It helps you to set the scenes, move the actors around, and create an experience that grabs your attention. So one fact about JavaScript is the whole language was the whole creating a whole new language in just 10 days. That's what Brendan Eich did in 1995 when he made JavaScript. He wanted to make websites more fun and interesting. And the first website to use JavaScript was Hot Java, which was created in 1995. Next, we'll move to the CSS framework. So what a CSS framework is that it is a pre-made toolbox of styles and layout components for building websites. It's designed to save your time and effort by providing a set of ready-to-use design, patterns, grids, and components. So now the question is, why should we use this CSS framework, or what are the advantages of using it? So CSS frameworks are huge time saver. They come with a well-designed components that you can simply drop onto your project. This helps you maintain a consistent look and feel across your website without having to build everything from scratch. So this in turn makes the development easier. Now imagine if at the start of a project you already had a bunch of styles and things you could use. That's what CSS frameworks do. So some of the popular frameworks you can learn are Bootstrap, Tailwind, Materialize, Bulma, and so on. So most common framework that we use is the Bootstrap. So Bootstrap is something which is widely used and loved for its responsive grid system and versatile component. It's perfect for building mobile-friendly websites. So learning any of these frameworks can significantly speed up your development process and help you create visually appealing designs and help you create more responsive layout across different devices. While in CSS framework we get most of the components to be ready, still you can customize your things as per your requirements. So let me share one more interesting fact about this which you all might don't know, that Bootstrap was started inside Twitter and they made it to keep things look similar in all their internal tools. Then they made it free and open source for everyone. So now moving on to the next slide, we have CSS preprocessors. So CSS preprocessor is like a translator that takes your more advanced efficient code and turns it into regular CSS that browsers understand. It extends the capabilities of CSS by adding features like variables, functions, and more. Now using a preprocessor, now using a CSS preprocessor comes with a multiple benefits, which are like increased productivity. Increase product, what I mean by that is it helps you to write code faster by providing shortcuts like variables. So what we can do is we can just define variables with certain things and we can use those variables in our code. Next, what we can do is we have improved readability. Since we are using nesting and mixins, this makes our style sheet easier to read and understand even when they are large. And the next is enhanced functionality. With features like mixin and functions, you can create styles that are more dynamic and versatile. So some of the important things that you can learn are mixing, nesting, and readability. And the most common CSS preprocessors we have are SAS and SCSS. So SASS and SCSS are like cousin with a different syntax. And SCSS we have like a similar syntax to CSS. Additionally, you might also explore other preprocessors like PostCSS, Less, and Stylus. Each offers unique features to make your style sheets even better. Yeah, moving on to the next slide, we have JavaScript frameworks and library. So what are these? So it is like a toolbox filled with pre-built tools that make building complex web application easier. They provide you with ready-made code structures to handle various tasks. So before moving forward, we'll just quickly understand the difference between a framework and a library. So a framework is something which helps you guide through building an app step by step, whereas a library is something it provides tools you can use to solve a specific problem. So example of a framework is Angular and Django, whereas an example of a library is React and jQuery. So using this JavaScript frameworks or libraries offers several advantages like create complex interactions, build dynamic web apps, and improve performance. Some of the popular frameworks or libraries that you can learn are React, Vue, and Angular. So React is something which is widely used by Facebook and is known for building reusable UI components, and is great for creating fast and interactive user interfaces. Additionally, you might explore other options like Svelte, Meteor, and Remix, each offering unique approaches and advantages for building web applications. Learning a JavaScript framework or library empowers you to build more sophisticated web application with less effort, improved performance, and enhanced user experience.
The word react can also mean to respond or to react to something. This is perfect name for a framework that is designed to respond to change in data and update the UI accordingly. And we all know React is the most popular JavaScript library for building user interfaces, and it is a game changer in front-end development. Born as a JS library, React excels in creating interactive, dynamic, and responsive user interfaces. It's widely known for its simplicity and performance optimization. So you might don't know few of the facts about React. According to the Stack Overflow Developer Survey in 2022, it was used by 67.08% developers, making it the clear leader over Angular and Vue.js. And also React was developed by Facebook to address the challenge of complex UIs in their application. In 2011, they released React as open source and sparking its impressive growth. So to learn React, you can cover the below topics. You can learn components, which is a building blocks, encapsulating UI and behavior, JSX, which is a syntax of React, then props and state for data passing and managing, events, conditional rendering for users' interactions, and context-based UI changes. React hooks, which is a special function in React that allow you to hook into state and lifecycle feature from functional component. So whether you are building simple or complex user interfaces, mastering React's core concepts will empower you to create seamless, interactive, and highly responsive web application. So enhancing your React development, let's get familiar with the React UI frameworks. UI frameworks or user interface frameworks are pre-built libraries or codes, tools and components that help developer create consistent and visually appealing user interfaces for software projects. There are a lot of benefits using UI frameworks. UI frameworks cover everything from button and forms to complex elements like navigation bars and models. It drastically speeds up development, speed, and reducing the time spent on building basic components from scratch. Customization at its finest. Most frameworks allow customization to match your brand identity, tweaking colors, typography, and styles is just a matter of configuration. And let me share a tip for using UI frameworks. First, you have to dive into the documentation of your chosen UI framework, familiarize yourself with its components, design principles, and customization options. Then it will get easy to use. And let me share some facts that you might don't know, which is Ant Design was developed by Ant Financial, which is a Chinese financial company, not a technical company. Chakra UI and React Bootstrap were developed by Josh and Florence, who are well-known React developer. So with React UI frameworks, you are holding a key to quicker, more consistent, visually appealing development. So when you get used to it, you will never start any project from scratch. Then I'm moving to the next slide. To solve React problem faster, there are packages available you can use. React packages are third-party library and tools that enhance and extend the functionality of React applications. They provide pre-built solutions for common challenges, making development more efficient and streamlined. So there are some essential packages which you can learn, from React Router for navigation to React Query for seamless data fetching, Axios for smooth API calls, Style Component for elegant styling. These packages are the backbone of the modern React development. And again, the tip to use it is dive into package documentation to fully grasp the capabilities, learning how to integrate and leverage these tools, enhance your development workflow. Let me share some facts and benefits of using it. React packages are constantly evolving with the new features and improvement being added all the time. These are a great way to add functionality and features to your React application. These packages are not just a tool, they are the architect of readability and efficiency in your application. Then another important skill which is front-end developer need to know is version control system. This is a world where chaos transforms into harmony. And you all devs are thankful to version control system. A version control system is a tool that helps developers track changes to their code over time, allowing them to collaborate efficiently, revert to previous version, and manage code history. So the importance of it is undeniable to devs. Imagine a safety net that records every change you made your code. Version control system provide that safety net. The track edits allow you to revert previous version and safeguard your work from accidental trouble. This enables multiple developers to work on the same project simultaneously without stepping on each other task. Conflicts are resolved smoothly, ensuring a harmonious workflow. One thing I was not used to, which I corrected later on, is commit message. Commit messages are your notes to the future. Craft meaningful and concise message that explain the purpose of each change. This practice helps in tracking progresses and understanding changes weeks or months down the line. So let me share some interesting facts that you might don't know, which is the largest Git repository on GitHub is Linux kernel repository, which has over 20 million commits. The most active Git repository on GitHub is the AngularJS repository, which has over 1,000 commits per month. The most popular programming language on GitHub is JavaScript with over 100 million repositories. Finally, version control system not only safeguard your code, but also elevate the spirit of collaboration. Whether you are working with a team or not, Git and its companions keep your project on track and your code base secure. So another important slide is about package managers. Think of package managers as your digital supply chain managers. They handle the acquisition, installation, and management of external code libraries, easing the process of incorporating third-party tools into your project. Instead of searching and downloading libraries manually, package managers allow you to define dependencies in a configuration file. And with a simple command, they fetch and install the required libraries in their dependencies. So remember, don't update all packages blindly. Test updates in a separate branch to catch potential conflicts before applying them to the main project. Again, I'm going to share some facts about this. NPM, short for Node Package Manager, is the largest software registry in the world, hosting over 1.5 million packages. The largest package on NPM is the React package, which has over 100 million downloads. So package managers are likely helpful friends in effective project organization. They streamline dependency handling, ensuring your project stays uh, drafting and secure as you progress. So that is it. But this slide is about if you learned all this stuff, you can go ahead with other technologies you can learn, which is Next.js, Gatsby, TypeScript. If you want to learn testing your software, then learn Jest, testing library Cypress. Also, if you want to learn deployment, then Netlify is there, Vercel, Firebase, Heroku, Render. Learn module bundler. This is also one important thing you can learn, which is Webpack and Gulp. Then if you want to learn everything, then go ahead and learn many more things like progressive web apps, course, JSON, RESTful API, basic security, and web accessibility. So that is it, guys. You don't need to learn all the things mentioned in this guide to become a front-end developer or get a job as a front-end developer. So there is no end of learning in web development. There is always something new to learn. So thank you and happy learning.